All right, everyone. So the announcement has been made. Arranged employment points are currently gone from Express Entry. So Zia and I are here to talk about what this might mean and what are some of the things you can do about this. Zia, could you explain to us what the arranged employment points being gone actually mean?
For sure. So before today, in Express Entry, you could get points for meeting the definition of arranged employment. And when we talk about arranged employment, you were either getting points for having a labor market impact assessment or a closed work permit that was LMIA exempt. And if you had worked for the employer for a year continuously. And so you were eligible for either 50 or 200 points, just depending on the occupation code of your job offer. So these 50 or 200 points that applicants were receiving in their Express Entry profiles, we're slowly going to see all of that go away from active profiles. And anyone who's now creating their profiles, they're not going to get those points for arranged employment now.
All right, so Express Entry is a competition. It's not a lottery. It's a competition where they look at how many points you have. So, who are the winners and losers of these ex arranged employment points being gone?
Yeah, that's a great question. So anyone who wasn't getting points for arranged employment anyways, so if you didn't have that job offer and you didn't have those 50 or 200 points, um, now they're going to see what we're likely going to see is that the draws or the minimum scores for draws are going to come down since people aren't going to have the arranged employment points anymore. And so those people who didn't have the 50 points or the 200 points, they're going to be at an advantage, right? Because their points were never relying on the arranged employment points. And
These
so those are
people
people,
oh, sorry.
yeah, so those are people who are like potentially on post-grad work permits, for example, or other types of open work permits. And so they're never did qualify for arranged employment points. These are people that we're likely going to see benefiting from this change. In
Right.
terms of who's not going to benefit, who's going to be at a disadvantage, anyone who's really relying on those arranged employment points. So if you had a profile and you were getting the 50 or 200 points, and 200 is a lot, if you were relying on those 50 or 200 points, now what we're going to see is they're going to lose those points. And so that's who we're really going to be at a disadvantage.
A lot of those people who are relying on the 200 points are the entrepreneurs. 200 points are for people who are at the executive management level. And a lot of people who came as entrepreneurs, they were CEOs of their company. Now they are going to lose the 200 points. So that really puts um, a big hurdle for them to be able to get permanent residence through Express Entry now. Zia, let's talk about some advice that we would give to people who are affected negatively by the arranged employment points being taken away.
Yeah, definitely. I think at this point, it's going to be even more important to sit down, go through your points, see where you are receiving points already and where you can improve your score, how you can increase your points in the Express Entry pool. A lot of that is going to depend on language, it's going to depend on education, work experience. These are the factors that are still part of the Express Entry system where you can be increasing your overall score. So sitting down, going through where you are receiving points, where you're have some room to obtain additional points is going to be even more important right now.
And I think also there are a lot of other programs that you might qualify for. For example, for entrepreneurs, we can start looking at the startup visa program for many of you, for example, or we can look at provincial nominee programs for many of you who are employees. Um, and for those of you who are looking for positions, we're looking at RCIP, etc. So it's not fantastic news, but there may be ways still to move forward. And again, the immigration system in Canada is constantly fluctuating and changing. And although things might look a little bleak right now, things very well could change like that on a dime. Um, I think one of the main things that we would advise you to do right now is to really look at your status and look at ways to extend your temporary status, extend that work permit. And we can certainly look at doing that. You know, the LMIA system, even though it no longer gives you the 50 points for express entry, it is still quite important for many people if your employer is willing to do it, to help you extend your work permit as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course keep up to date with changes as they come, because immigration, as we can see, is constantly changing, constantly evolving, and so certainly things can always fluctuate again.
All right. So hang in there, guys, and we're certainly here to help you navigate your way. Take care.
Take care.